Yes. So, okay. Yes. Now is it better? Okay. Let's go. All right. Hey everyone. Just turn on my video. Okay. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the game development masterclass. This is the last day, and today we are going to be continuing from where we left off yesterday. So today we are covering how to create enemies. So in this particular example, I'm going to show you how to create like a zombie-like enemy. So when it will see the player, or if you hit the player with a bullet, that enemy character or zombie character will chase your player and it will try to attack you, and the health will go down. Okay, so we have planned that, and then we are going to create UI elements such as your current objective and health bar and armor bar for your player on the screen. And then we are going to create a main menu, and we are going to finish the whole series. We are going to conclude the whole series. Also, I have a little something planned for you all at the very end. So I have talked about this in various webinars also, and uh, I have a game coming on Xbox One and PC platform, and it's called Alone. It's a psycho thriller slash horror game, and I'm going to show some unreleased gameplay that no one has seen yet, not even the people at Xbox. I'm going to live stream that today. With you guys, and I hope that it goes well and we have a lot of fun in this live stream. All right, so let's jump in and let's talk about where we left off yesterday. So we have successfully created a player that has an AK-47. We have a custom player for us. We have our custom skeletal mesh. We have our own animations. We can walk here and there. We can shoot, right? So all of that good stuff. Now let's create an enemy character. So that's not very difficult to do. Just go to the third person blueprint, open the third person character, your skeletal mesh, your blueprint character, right click and duplicate it, right? And call it. So in this, in this project, I have various enemies. So I have called them zombie AI2, AI3, AI4, just a naming scheme so that I can find them at one place. All right. So when you create when you duplicate your character class, there could be a lot of what we can say movement input, right? So there would be a lot of movement input, mouse input, touch input, right? Gamepad input, etc., etc. And we also added yesterday, like firing weapon, right? So remove all of that code. So all of the blueprint here has to go. So just select it all and press delete, and everything will go away. All right. Don't do this in your actual player character. Do it in the duplicated one, the one that is meant to be our enemy. All right. So I'm going to open it. So there should be nothing here. Right. I have some stuff, but you should have nothing here. Go to the viewport, and now you can see your sort of like there would be the SWAT character here, right? So something like this would be appearing in front of you, but we don't want our enemy to be ourselves. So go to mixamo.com and download some zombie characters. I showed how to do that in the last webinar, that is yesterday, and I told how to download it, how to download the character, how to download the animations. So I have done that already. So all you need to do is press import. So let's go to my folder where I have downloaded them all. So let's go to, so this is sort of like the file. So select the character file, press open, and just don't select anything in skeleton, because this is a new character mesh, right? You want it to have its own skeleton. And okay, so just press import, and this will do that. All right, now go to import and select all the animation files and press open. Now select the skeleton which you just imported, right? Select that and then press import all, and all the animations will be imported. So all of my uh, meshes for zombie characters and their animations are stored in the zombie folder. So if I open the first the one folder, I can see my character. So it should look like something like this, in the T pose, right? And if you go to the animations tab, you should see various animations that you imported in the asset browser. All right. So remember how we created a blend space and animation blueprint for our own player character, right? So I'm just going to share my whole screen so that nothing gets messed up. So open this up, and this is how it should look. I think you weren't able to see it before. This is how it should look. Our character. You might have a different character, but the default pose should be this. Okay, go to animation, and we can see all the animations that we have imported. Awesome. All right. Now, here are all the animations. Remember that we created a walk and run blend space, and we created an animation blueprint for a third person character. Well, we have to do the same for our zombie character, because again, these are characters, so they need to have an animation blueprint to function properly, which will tell what animation to play, right? So select your 3D mesh. It should say skeletal mesh in the brackets. Right click, create, and first of all, our job is to create a blend space. Call this walk run underscore bs, the same that we did in the character folder, right? Just save it in the different folder, not in the same folder where you have all the animations of your player character. Keep everything organized when you're working in a big project or a little bit complex project or even a simple project. Just keep everything organized in different folders so that you can reach a particular asset swiftly. Okay, so select this, and then again we are greeted with nothing but plain graphs. Name the horizontal axis to be direction, name the vertical axis to be speed, right? So the minimum value of direction is 0, maximum is um, 100. It doesn't really matter in this case of what the minimum and maximum of direction are. So we are just going to keep it 0 to 100. Um, in case of speed, the minimum speed is going to be 0, the maximum is going to be 150. If you remember correctly, we have maximum speed of 180 in our player character. So we have made sure that our zombie will never overrun will never be able to catch our player character. If you want to make things interesting, just increase the speed here. All right. So okay, let's come back to here. Now you would have nothing here. Add idle when the direction is 50 and speed is 0. So something in between, right? Somewhere in between. It doesn't really matter. You can place the same thing here also. It will work fine. So idle in the middle bottom. Then we have normal walking when the speed is around 75. So half the speed means walking. And then just drag the running animation and put it at in the topmost axis value, y-axis value. So that's when speed is 150. We are telling it to run. So press shift and you can drag it across your graph. So if I drag it up, it has started walking, and if I drag it up uh, more up, then it will start running. If I go down, speed decreased, and the transition is really smooth. So that's what brain space does. It sort of allow us to go from different transitions, move from different animations by creating smoother transitions. Save. Now go to your enemy blueprint that you just duplicated from first person character and deleted all the blueprints. All right. Um, Select your skeletal mesh. For me, it was security, something like, okay. So it was zombie underscore character, and we don't have an anim class. So it should look like this for you. All right. So let me just click done, compile it. So this is how it should look for you. All right. Something totally plain. All right. Now go to your character mesh again. Press right click, create an anim blueprint. So we are going to create an animation blueprint. Name it whatever you like. In this case, I have named it zombie character underscore anim BP. BP means blueprint. All right. Now let's talk about it. Okay. All right. So you will have nothing here, and you will have no state machine here. So what we did in the yesterday's class, we created a state machine, right? So just right click, type add new state machine, and I have just simply named it state machine because there is no other state machine here. Compile it, save it, double click to open it, and you will have nothing at your entry. So it would be nothing. Now drag it and add a new state, which we are going to call movement. The same like we did yesterday. Double click to open it. And in this, if you remember correctly, we added walk run PS. So simply what you can do is just drag your blend space that we just created, walk underscore run underscore PS in my case, and connect it to the result. Okay, now it's again asking for direction and speed. So the way we dealt it yesterday was created a variable, created two variables here, and we were getting their value from our AI class that we created. Okay, so variable, click this little plus button, Set the value type to be float and name direction. Again, do the same and this time name the variable speed. Compile, save, and this should work properly for you. Now, let's go. Okay. So now we have created one movement. I also want my zombie to attack the player as well. So what I'm going to do, I am going to create a new state. Nothing, nothing very difficult. Just select your movement state and drag it. And wow, okay, drag it and select add state and name this state attacking. All right. Now select your attacking state and drive the arrow back to movement. Okay. Then compile and save. You might have some warnings, and that's okay because we are about to fix them. Now go to attacking. All right. In this, we are going to do layer blend per bone. And you would think that why do we need to, blend two animations in this particular blueprint? Because when a zombie is running, it can still attack the player. If you see the attacking animation right now, it is just idle. So I also wanted to attack when it is running. So how do I do that? I combine two animations where the bottom half of the skeletal mesh of my zombie is running and the upper half is performing the attack animation. So that's the point of layer blend per bone. So how do we do that? Just right click and type in layer blend per bone. Select that and you will have this kind of thing here. Drag your walk run underscore ps and connect the output of walk run of your blend space to base pose and zombie attack. So attacking animation with your blend pose is 0. All right, and set the weight to be 0.4. All right, compile it, save it, and connect the direction and speed as usual. Now select your layer blend per pose and okay. Now in here, when you go to the details panel, right, in the layer setup, click this little arrow to open the array element and open it up. And then there will be an option called branch filters and then again open it up. So it's a whole nested list. And in the 0th item, you will see the bone name and there would be nothing here. So first of all, you need to add an array element. So select plus. So I already had it. So I'm just going to okay. So I added again, right? So the index would be 0. It says two members and I'm going to name the bone as hips, right? I'm going to go to my skeletal mesh file to recheck if the bone is hip where I want to merge my animation. So I'm just going to type in hips. Okay, yes, that is what it is called. And the H is capital. So the spelling should be right. Even the cases, it's case sensitive. Compile, save, and that is pretty much it for the animation part that you have to do for the enemy character, right? So I'm going to compile it, save it, and I'm going to close it. To close the skeletal mesh file, I'm going to close the skeleton file. Okay. Now select your mesh and select your anim blueprint that you just created. In my case, it is called zombie underscore character underscore anim pp. Compile it, save it, go to event graph. Okay, don't go to event graph yet. So you might see your uh, zombie character doing your idle animation because that was our initial state, the movement state. And since it is not moving, the We think that this should, since it is not moving, it should play the idle animation. All right, this is how it should look like. Okay, now we are going to set up a chasing system when what it will do is when the player gets somewhere near our zombie where it can see him, it will start chasing our player. All right, so go to add component and type on sensing. And when you add that component, make sure to compile, and something like this will appear. So like there will be a blue circle, a yellow circle, and green circle. So blue circle is your, I guess, okay, that is your hearing threshold. The yellow circle is your line of sight. So where your vision works. And then you have the green circle that will represent the sight radius, right? Now I want my zombie to have only um, eyes to be working. I don't want any complicated sound and sound sensing components. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select that. Okay. Now I'm going to set the peripheral vision angle to be 35 because that seems pretty normal. You can increase that to 120 or 45, and that should work fine as well. Right? Now press save. Keep selecting the pawn sensing component. Go down in the details panel, and there is an option called on see pawn, right? And there will be a plus button. Click that and go to event graph. Now you will have this node which is called pawn sensing component. Now I need to refer to my third person character to make sure that the pawn, that is the object that it is seeing, is in fact third person character, right? So I need to make sure of that. नहीं तो ये किसी को भी chase करने लग जाएगा. Pawn, drag the pawn node and type in cast to third person character, whatever your character is, right? And this should appear. Now create a variable that is called scene player and keep it a boolean. So that is if it's true, that means it is going to chase the player. All right. Now set it to false for some reason. Okay. Set it to true, compile, save. All right. Now get the character movement and set its max walk speed. So drag in the character movement component from the left side and type set max movement or set max walk speed. Right. So this would appear, and set it to the maximum speed for our character. That is 150, right? We set it in our blend space. So this is how it should look like, and then drag and type AI move to, and now in the pawn, just drag it and type get a reference to self, and this would appear. Now for the target actor, just drag as third person character and connect it with target actor. Okay. So what it is trying to do is when it sees the player, it is going to set scene player to true. It is going to go into maximum walk speed, and the target of it is literally our player character. So it will move to our player character. It will sort of chase it. Now compile it, save it, and now place your zombie character in the field. I'm just going to disable some. So your zombie character should have nothing right now. So don't please avoid anything that is appearing on screen, the objective, etc., etc. Right? Just view the gameplay. So when I came in the sight radius of our zombie, it started chasing me. So this is how it should work, right? All right. Let's um, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now I want my player to also the enemy to also do some random movements, sort of like this. So when you play it, it is going to randomly move in an area, just like zombies do, and when it sees me, it is going to chase me. Okay. I'm going to just increase the side radius because that's just too small, I guess. Compile save. Anyway, so that's why we created scene player. Now you'll get it. Right click, select, type event begin play. So that is when the game starts. What our AI enemy AI will do, right? First of all, I wanted to play a sound at location. Okay, what sound is it? It is going to be a zombie underscore mail sound. So that is the sound effect I downloaded from, I created for my character. So this is a sound effect I picked up from a free library on YouTube. Get the drag the location and type get actor location. So that will get the location of our character. Drag. Okay, so get the character movement and set the max walk speed to 50, right? And then drag it again and get the AI move to block. So just all you need to do is drag it and type AI move to, and this will, and select this and this will appear. All right, again, drag on and type get reference to self, and this will appear. All right, destination. What its destination should be. It hasn't seen the player yet, so it should be something random. How do we do that? Just drag in the destination and type get random reachable point in navigable radius. All right, and its origin should be the actor's location. So it will create an imaginary circle with our enemy AI in the middle, and it will move anywhere within that circle. Okay, so compile, save. Now on success, go to branch and check if it has seen the player. So drag the scene player and set it as the condition. All right. So has it seen the player? If it hasn't, you know what? Move somewhere again. All right. So it will keep on moving to the random location until it has seen the player, and when it sees the player, we all know it will chase our player. Okay. Compile, save. Now save current. Go ahead and okay. There was one thing left. So what was left is in your place actor menu, in search classes, type in nav mesh bounds volume. All right. So this is something that we need for our AI to move in our environment, and drag this. All right. And scale this to wherever your whatever navigable area that you want your AI to have. All right. Your enemy to have. So if you press P, you can see the navigable radius. It is showing the whole area because I have already added. Um, so I've already added a big nav mesh bounce volume that covers the whole area. So press P again, and it will go away. Now we have set up a random movement and see how that goes. So press play. All right, this is going to move randomly anywhere, and when it will see me, it has now started chasing me. All right. Okay, now let's create a variable that is called attacking, and I'm going to set it to true. Set it to boolean, and the default value is false. So when our player and enemy are in a certain range, are like close to each other, the enemy will attack our player. How do I do that? First of all, create a um, boolean here. Now go to viewport, keep selecting your mesh, add component, and add a sphere collision. All right. So something like this would appear. All right. Now all you have to do is connect it to a socket. Now we haven't created a socket yet. So that's what we are going to do is go to character, zombie character, select skeleton and go to its right hand. So let's say that it will hit us with its right hand and damage us. Now press right click and type and select add socket. All right. So I have added a socket to my right hand and it is called attacking collision. So I'm just going to search for it and this is how it should look. Right. It is somewhere here. So I'm just going to go to my enemy blueprint, select my sphere, and in the search option, I'm just going to select attacking collision. If I select spine 1, it will move to my spine, but there is no point setting it there. I'm just going to set it to attacking collision. All right. Okay. Now we have done that. Now type in on begin overlap. All right. Click this little plus icon. Now drag the other actor and type in cast to third person character, and this will appear. Now check the branch if it is attacking. If it is attacking, then um, create another variable called already hit, and again it is a boolean and default value is false. All right, and check if our player is already hit or not. Right, if it has, and you might remember the take damage function that we created in our third person character blueprints, in which we are reducing the value of health, um, right? So all we did was created a variable of float type. Its maximum value can be 1, and whenever the function is called, it is going to reduce some amount of health. For example, minus 0.01. So 10% of health will be reduced every time that function is called. So I'm calling take damage 20%. That means 20% of the damage will be um, done to the player. So if the player health is zero point 0.1, it would be if the player health is at 100%, it would be now at 20%, at 80%. Wow, I'm good at math. Anyway, now that is pretty much it. And one thing we still haven't done, we haven't set the value of attacking. So what we are trying to do here is we are going to set the value attacking. Okay, now on success. So when we were coding enemy chase player, so we just left it till AI moved. What we are trying to do is when it will reach our player, when it is in that range, is close to us, I want to check if it is attacking. I'm going to check if the player is attacking. All right, and if it is, then I'll do my and this will work then. Okay, so sphere this whole on begin overlap will do his work. All right, but if it isn't, that is, it is not attacking the player. It has just reached our player. Set the value of attacking to true, delay, get a delay of 2.69 seconds because that's how long our animation is. So go to your zombie character, go to animations, and now if you select attack, right? So if you select attack, the whole animation is around 2.633. All right. So I am giving 2.69 as a delay, and then I'm again setting it back to false because it has attacked and it is not doing anything now. So I'm going to set it to false. All right, that should work, and drag this ahead and set already hit to false, and just go back and set it to um, set the whole thing back to AI move to. All right, so this would work just fine. We have just one thing left um, for our zombie character to do. Go to animation, open your animation blueprint. Now, if you remember correctly, we didn't add anything here. Like when we didn't tell when our movement state will uh, transition to attacking, right? So go to this upper arrow which says movement to attacking, open it up, and create a variable called attacking player. Now drag this and set it to can enter transition. It should look like this. All right. So when it is attacking the player, it will enter the attacking state. And when it is going from attacking to movement, then attacking player is set to not. So all you have to do is type in not boolean and this will appear and select it to can enter transition. Compile it, save it. Okay. In event graph of your animation blueprint, remember we did the same thing where we cast to our player character, we try get pawn owner, and then we added the calculation, the velocity, we set the speed, direction, and if it is attacking or not. So we did the same thing again. Okay. So cast to security officer AI and by in object uh, enter this try get pawn owner. Now drag our execute node from cast to security officer AI and set direction. All right. Now as security officer AI, drag get velocity, okay, get actor rotation and get attacking. So the value of the variable which says is attacking, right? And I have calculated my direction by calling a function. All right. So added velocity, same thing that we did for our player character. It's literally the same. And the only different thing is we are setting the value of attacking here. So we created a variable and we're going to get attacking. We're going to change the value and the branch is doing nothing. So I'm going to delete it. Compile it, save it, and this should show a green text here. Save it, press play, and this should work just fine. Okay, you might not be able to see the preview. I'm just going to share my whole screen. So it should work like this, not the reload animation or the HUD right now, but our player is now being chased by our zombie. And okay, now we need to set up something because our enemy is able to damage our player, but our player is not able to damage the zombie. That's a little unfair. So select your mesh and go down, and there is okay. So there is the event begin overlap. All right. So security officer AI self. Um, in the capsule component or your mesh, anything would work fine. All you need to do is go down, and there will be an option called on component begin overlap. Click this little plus icon, and this will appear. All right. So event actor begin overlap. Now drag the other character, and remember that we created a projectile base class for our bullet. So we are going to cast it to that. So we are checking if it is being overlapped by our bullet. And then we are going to create a variable called health for it. And I have set its value as 1.0. And each time our bullet will hit, it will take zero point 0.2, that is 20% of our health. And it will set the value of our update the value of our health. Okay, so set health. What to set it to? Just minus the minus zero point 0.2 from the current value. So health minus 0.2. All right. Now add a branch and check if the value of health is less than equal to 0. All right, and if it is, so drag through. Um, then type in set simulate physics. So this thing right here, set simulate physics, and the target should be your mesh. So drag your mesh and select your target here. All right, this should look like this. Compile, save, and please check the box on the simulate option. Okay, now I'm going to delay it by 2.0 seconds, and I'm then going to destroy my actor. All right, compile, save, press play, and now what it will do is every time I hit my zombie with a bullet, it is going to just fall down and be dead after its health is finished. All right, and if I don't do that, my health will be reduced. Just watch on the bars that are in the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to add this blood splash effect. Okay, so I am dead and my player just fall down. All right. So this is how much we have done, and now it's time to create some user interface elements like the blood splatter effect. How did I did that? Okay, first of all, you need to have your image file. So I'm just going to my just right click and create a folder called HUD, that is called heads up display. All right, so I have already created that. So it is called FPS underscore HUD, and the effect is something, this looks like this. This should be a .png file, and all you need to do is press import and go wherever your file is, import it, and this should look like this. Okay, now right click, create a user interface widget blueprint, and name it sort of, let's see what I called it. Okay. Healing, health pickup. So there are a lot of widgets that you can see in my project right now. So there is this widget called You Died. Okay, let's start with that. All I did was, so this would be something that you would see when you open our widget blueprint. All right. So what you are seeing is in the middle of this white box, we have our canvas. You won't have this text file. This is, I just, what I did was I went into palette and I added a text file. All right. And I changed its color by clicking here. So color and opacity in the appearance option, and I set its text to You Die. Compile it, save it, and but how do I display it? right? How do I display the user when am I dead? When do I display? All you have to do is go to third person character, okay, event graph, press right click and type event text. All right. So something like this would appear. Now drag this node and add in a branch. All right. So add in a branch and in the branch, check if the health is less than or equal to 0. So when my health is less than equal to 0, I should die. So drag the true and connect it to create widget, and this would appear. And go to the return value and drag it and type add to viewport. So add to viewport, and this something like this will appear. Now, if you compile it, it will give you an error because you haven't selected a class. So I'm just going to select my you died widget, which is saved as you died. So pretty simple naming scheme. Compile it, save it, and this would work just fine. Now I don't want just that. I want my game to be over. So what you can do is just drag this out and type quit game. So what this will do is this will literally quit the game when our player is dead. Let's see how this works. So I'm just going to okay. I'm going to run. I'm just going to chase me. I think, and I'm about to die. And the game closed when I died. All right. If you don't want that, if you just want the input to be disabled, you can set disable input, compile it, save it, and you can load another level. So if you want to open another level, so just type in open level and type in the level name. So okay, and it should not be, it is case sensitive. Please make sure that compile it, save it, and this should work fine. All right, so now we have added effects like you died, and you can do a lot of them. All we need is now to showcase our health in a health bar. So I'm going to create again a new widget blueprint. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint, and I'm going to call it um, just call it FPS HUD or something like that. Okay, I'm just so in this case it is called FPS underscore HUD. Now here is where I can where I'm showing my armor as well as health. So you might not have your armor, but we have programmed in the series the health option, right? Health interface. Okay, so this is a progress bar. Just go into your palette and type in progress bar and drag it in. This would appear something like this. Move, shape it however you want. You can add your custom style, your custom background images like I have did here, right? So background image is the image. It will show when it is when in the parts where it is empty, and fill images when it gets filled up. So it's sort of like this. So when you go to your percentage in the progress panel, we can see it can go from 0 to 1.0. So 1.0 is 100% filled. Okay. Now you can name your progress bar to be health bar, right? So if you have a custom image, it should look like this. Right, so you can see how how it is filling, right? Now to connect our health bar to our player, we need to create a binding. How do I do that? There will be an option called create binding here. All right, and when you do that, this will create a function for you, which will be called as get percent underscore 0 or something along something along those lines. Excuse me. Okay. Now drag the get person and type in cast to third person character because that's where our health is stored. Drag the object and type in get player character. Now return node, connect the third person character, cast the third person character to return node, and as third person character, get health. So I'm getting my health and I'm connecting it to the return value. Okay. Compile it, save it. Now when you press play, this will showcase your health. So it is set to 60 by default. If I change my default value of health from zero point 0.6 to something like 0.2, it will reflect that in my widget. So it is now plus 20. All right. So this works just fine. I'm just going to reset my health to zero point 0.6 again. Okay, so this is how you add UI elements. You can add a kill score. Like every time you kill a zombie, a value in your third person character called score will increment in value. So it will be +1. And you can show that score in your on your screen, right? Just like we showed health. Now you can create bindings for text, progress bars, etc. Now let's create a main menu. To do that, first of all, we are going to create a new level. So all my menu levels are in the menu folder. So press right click, go to level and name the level main menu level. And this should look something like this. It should be like blank, completely blank. Okay, so you might not have anything like this table and the blood splatter effect, etc., etc. So you should not have this. All right. If I press play, this appears, but you might not have anything, so you would see nothing. So I'm just going to do that for you. So I'm going to create a main, or I'll call it menu level. Okay. Open it. So we have this, and this would be nothing, and I cannot see anything. All right. Now we have done that. Right click and create a widget blueprint called main menu widget. I have done that in the FPS hard. Okay, so I'm just going to search in main menu widget. Okay, in this I have added a couple of buttons. Here you can see, and I have added the title. So how did I add the title? All I did was added text. All right, and in the and I changed its value, so I called it alone, and I set its color to be something like red-ish, etc. Okay. Now, or you can also import a image file if you're doing a custom font or a custom logo. Then you can also add an image file. How do I do that? Go to image, drag it, and set your image here. All right. Compile it, save it. Okay. Then to organize my menu here, I added a vertical box. So in a vertical box, each thing goes in the vertical order. All right. So I added 3 buttons. First is called load game button. Second is called new game button. Let's just add 2 buttons for our game. So one will be new game and the other will be quit to desktop. All right. Now you might not have text on your buttons and they would look like grayish, but that's okay. You can change the opacity of your button. So I've set it to 0. I guess it's in a style. Yep, I have set the value of A to 0. So when you do that, it gets transferred. All right. Then I added text onto those buttons. So just drag text and in the right side, just add text on your button. Okay, just drag and drop, as simple as that. Okay, compile it, save it. So I called this text new game because it is on the new game button. And then I called it quick to desktop because it is on the quick to desktop button. All right, compile it, save, keep on compiling and saving because it is important. Now select the new game button. Now press the plus button, option on the on click in the events panel on the right side. Okay, click it and do one thing. Just drag in and type in open level because you want to open a level and name it level 1 or whatever the name of your level is. In my case, it is called cinematic 1. All right, so I can change it. I can change it to forest scene, compile it, save it. Okay, and let's go back to our designer, select our quick to desktop button, do the same thing on click, and you just need to do quit button, quit game, and this would appear. All right, compile it, save it. Now all we need to do is add it to our main menu level. All right, go to blueprints, open level blueprint, event begin play, create widget. So whenever the game will begin, it is going to create a widget. Now I haven't selected a widget class here. So when I compile it, it will give me an error. Please make sure of that. Okay, the name of my widget is main menu widget. Compile it, again, save it. Now when you press play, you can see you have a whole menu here. All right. So that is pretty much it. Also, one thing, you might be able to see a little bit hint of your player in your game. We don't want that. We don't want our main menu level to be playable. So how do I fix that? Go to your wherever your main menu level is stored. Press right click, create a blueprint class, game mode base, and call it main menu game mode. All right. And then just open your main menu level or whatever it is and set the value to be main menu. Just give me 1 second. I'll find it. So world settings, game mode override, just set it to main menu mode. All right, and this will work fine for your main menu. Okay, I am going to delete this main menu level because because I already had one. So first of all, I'll have to close this. All right, so we have created our widget. When you press play, this should appear like everything should be blank. You can add a background image, like I have added a background image. So when you press new game, it will appear your level. All right, so I'll just hit back to. Okay, so that is pretty much it for main menu part. Okay, so the game might be hanging because of some delay or in from me actually playing the game and streaming it. So that's why the frame lag is there. Okay, so Unreal Engine is free. Unreal Engine is free. This is Unreal Engine 4, Varsha. Okay, so we are going to now package our game for Windows platform. All right. You can also package it for various platforms such as Xbox, import in all the different inputs. To package our game, all you need to do first of all is, right, so first of all, some basic stuff. Go to edit, project settings, and just wait for a moment. Okay. Now, what is your project name? It says third person BP game template. Change that to whatever project name you have. Change the project version. Add company name. All right. So if you don't have a company, just type in your name. All right. There won't be anything. Add a copyright notice if you want to have a proper legal terms of your game, of your product. Add in all your copyright. Okay. So this is some basic stuff that you need to go through. Now, what's important is to set up your maps and levels that you created accordingly. So you want your main menu level to be your sort of like default level. Whenever you start the game from scratch, you should see your main menu level, because that should be your entry point, because that's how it is, right? You cannot start with level 3 or mission 502 as your default game. You need to have something uh, introductory, such as a main menu level. So I have a press enter to start level that I have selected as my default. Editor startup method map doesn't matter. You can set it to whatever. So editor startup map is whenever you launch your Unreal Engine project, um, what map do you want it to load? Okay, so that it doesn't matter really much. But for packaging your game and for launching it properly, you need to set up a game default map. Awesome. Now go to movies. Do you have various movies that you want to play? If there are, what are they? So I have a movie and I have added that to my project file. Okay, packaging. Go to the packaging option. What build configuration are you? Is it a development? Is it a shipping? So shipping means final version. This is ready to go into the market. Development means beta release, alpha release, something that you do for testing. Okay. What is the staging directory? Staging directory is where you will store your like pre-built game. Full rebuild. Do you want it to build the game from scratch after each time you press package button? Is it for distribution? So I have checked that to true. Use pack file. Just keep selecting it, because this makes our game run easily. All right. Now, if you want your game to be in smaller size, so just create compressed cooked packages to true. This will compress your packages, your files that it is creating while packaging your game. All right. And that is pretty much it as far as the packaging setting goes. You can go through all settings here, but nothing really is that serious. Like there is a max chunk size. You don't want to change that. Cook everything in the project content directory, so it will literally create everything that is also which will also include things that are not being used. So just keep it unchecked. Cook only maps, so it will only build maps for your game. Things like user interface, etc., will be left out. All right. Supported platforms. Android is selected here. I am going to uncheck it, and I'm going to select um, something like, desktop or um, Linux, or if I'm crazy enough, maybe tvOS, Windows, and you can select PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, Xbox 360, etc., etc. And there are multiple platforms here. All right. Now go to target hardware, and we have desktop/console. Right. I have my. You can change your maximum quality or scalable 3D or 2D. All right. Now go to asset manager. Okay, this is not really anything. Okay, go to inputs. Now if you're creating your game for only PC, just add only inputs for PlayStation. But since my game is for Xbox and and I wanted to sort of be playable on other gamepads, so I added more buttons. All right, so you can say gamepad face button bottom for jump, to pause game, button 10, use medkit. So I have all my controls figured out for gamepads, Xbox controllers, and PC. So now when you play your game. So I'm going to press load game. Let's just wait for a sec. Okay, there is no load game. So when my level starts, I'm going to play with my controller here. So whenever, let's just okay. So I can move around with my controller, right? I can jump. I can turn off and on my flashlight, right? I can sprint. I can aim down sights, etc., etc. So I have things configured for gamepads, and you can do it for other platforms also. Now, if you have everything set up, go to File, Packages, Windows, 32-bit or 64-bit. It's your choice. So if you select 64-bit, select which uh, directory you want it to be saved in. Select your folder, and then if you open your output log, something like this will appear. And if everything goes well, you will have your game packaged in about an hour or two, depending on the assets that you have used. If those are high assets, then it can take a while. All right, that is pretty much it that I wanted to cover. One thing I want to add is if you're creating a game for mobile devices like Android or iOS, just do one thing: add buttons in your game. So in PUBG, there are buttons when you play the game for moving and for shooting things, right? So you can add button, and for example, if I go to okay, so let's go to my third file and in the main menu. So I'm going to open the main menu. Is it here? All right. Now in this, the buttons are clickable by the user on his Android device. You don't need to configure an input for that. So you can add buttons through user interface and you can create widgets. So you have created a button that will allow the player to move forward, right? So you can do that by creating widgets for Android devices. You don't need to configure input one by one in the project settings. Okay, that is pretty much it. I forgot I have closed my video and now I've started it again. All right, so that was pretty much it. You can fire up your questions. Okay, what will be the total size of the game? This is a very heavy project, जो मैं दिखा रहा था अभी, and the complete package of it was 4 gigabytes. All right, you can fire away your questions. Now, we are going to take questions for about 50 minutes. Okay, so you can ask your questions, and I have one thing. So if I don't get a question in the next minute, I will start with the surprise that I planned for you. All right, so I think I'm not getting another question. Okay, so 4 gigabytes was the size of this project. All right, I am now going to how to add auto heal HP. All right, what you can do is in the event take node only create a just in the event take only check if the health is less than equal to 0. If it is not, then check if it is equal to 100, or like if it is full, and if it is sort of in the middle, just increase its size periodically. That's what you can do to auto heal HP. Okay, lighting needs to be rebuilt. To fix that, go to build and select this build lighting only. So this should fix your problem. How to start game dev after class 12. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. Watch this whole series from start and end to understand the basics of game development. Um, so that's how you can start with game development. It's about how to publish it on Android. To publish it on Android, I explained you'd have to create widgets for your buttons and etc. and etc. You need to configure your inputs for Android phones, your iOS devices. Then you need to create a publisher ID on Google. It takes about $25, and when you do that, you can now upload your APK file, your app to Play Store. How to add subtitles in gameplay? Well, you can add subtitles by widgets only. So, how to add buttons to play the game? अरे it's very simple. जैसे हमने buttons अभी main menu में add किए ना, that's only you can add your buttons on your game. That should work. How to add subtitles in gameplay? Okay, so what you can do is you can create a um, sort of like a widget. So I have created a dialog underscore zero, and there are a lot of text. I have dragged all a lot of text files, and each text component has a specific dialog. So what I've done is I've added an animation. So here in the bottom, you can see the animation tab, add animation. I have called it text flash. And in this, you can add a track. So keep selecting your text and add a track, right? And so this is how it appears. So when I play my animation, the one text starts being visible, then it goes away, then another. So it's something like this. This is how you can do it. I changed my game name and now I cannot access. Please change it again because if you want to rename your project, do it in the project settings here. In the project settings, don't do it manually. Scope as a game developer in India. There are a lot of people I know working in companies like EA, Ubisoft, in the Indian offices, as well as there are a lot of independent game development studios, Indian game development studios that create games for clients, and they have published titles for a lot of people. And the scope is really booming. Since we have around 90 billion video game players in US in 2020 only, and there are billions or like millions of players in India. How to check if the player has entered through a gate? Add a box collision, create a blueprint actor, add a box collision to it, and then do the whole event overlap being there. So that's how you can trigger that event. Okay, but not getting out of that animation. Okay, so in the your animation blueprint in your state machine, make sure that you are going back from throwing grenade animation to your original state. Because if you're not doing that, it will be stuck in the throwing grenade animation for a long time. So you need to figure out a way of transitioning back. All right. Since I have answered a lot of questions, you can also ask them in Telegram group, and I'll make sure that I answer them. Okay. So I am going to share my screen now. So this is something that I've been working on for a very long time, and I hope the sound should be visible. This is the game that is called Unloan, and this is a horror game, and it is going to be launched on Xbox One and PC platform. Okay, so I'm just going to select new game here, or I'm just going to select load game. I, so this is an unreleased footage that you're seeing right here. I'm just going to play with my keyboard and mouse. So we have started it in the middle, and we are surrounded by zombies, as you can hear. Let's keep continuing. So we can sprint also until our stamina gets over. So we have zombies cornered here. Hope they let's just hope they didn't hear us. Pick up this kerosene can, this flashlight for our flashlight battery. Okay. All right. So we have picked up a key after killing a security guard zombie. I also added a background music. So that's how you can create an atmosphere for your game. Now, someone was asking me if I can implement a sort of like check if my player entered through a gate. So I've added a trigger box. So when I have did a whole event pick and overlap. So when I do that, the animation plays, and now the gate is closed again. Yeah. Okay, let's start the generator. And we have started the generator, but the lights are flickering for the horror effect, and we might have some zombies here. So you can see, all right. So let's just go here, and so I've added an animation. So I'm not doing anything. This is playing on by its own. Okay. So it starts running. The animation is still a bit janky, a bit lagging, but I'm still in the process of optimizing it. This is like an early look of your process, early look in the process, right? So we move on and we find more flashlight batteries, keys, and stuff like that. And that is pretty much it. Um, and that is pretty much it for this series. This has been a super amazing experience. I would thank DevScript, Vedant, Kabir, and Jadisha, all the good people who gave me the opportunity to speak. I'm sorry if the sound wasn't audible. It's something wrong with my capture card, I guess. All right. So all your queries about your certificates, tasks that will be cleared by the team here. If you have any questions about Unreal Engine, ping me up on Instagram. My Instagram ID is instagram.com/Prashant2. My channel is Ishan Vora, so you can just I'll add the link to the first comment. All right. Yeah, so it's a fusion of Outlast and Amnesia. It's going to be amazing because I have got inspired from a lot of movies, and let's see how the game plays out. All right, so um, that is pretty much it. Right, I'm getting very really flattering comments. If you want to see more of my content, if you want to work with me, ping me up. Do you have a project idea? Maybe I could mentor you, or we could work together as a team. Something like that. Are there game dev softwares to create games like Candy Crush? Yes, you can create Candy Crush like games in Unreal Engine, Unity, Godot, etc. My question is, why would you want to do that? You have to fix gun flashes. Yeah, I'll have to edit a lot of things in the game. This is not a finished product. This was just one level. Um, yeah, I'll probably have to edit the muzzle flash effect. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys soon, maybe. Whether you can end the stream. Okay, so we are going to play the trailer for you guys for the last time, and screen.